So we frequently hear that electromobility is a game changer. Sure, but what exactly makes it a game changer? Is it the technology? Is it the driver experience? Join the co-founder of e-mobilio GmbH, Ralph Missy, as he gets to the bottom of the game-changing factor that e-mobility is providing.
Hello everybody. Thank you very much for visiting my speech and getting some informations about what is everywhere at the IAA, because if you walk around here, electromobility is everywhere, every car is electric, everybody's talking about electromobility. What was not the topic 2 years ago, where we were first time with e-mobilio at the IAA and nobody was talking at these days about electromobility. So, and what I want to add to this is not just another speech about electromobility. What I want to add to you, or contribute to you, is another point of view, a total different point of view that we have from e-mobilio towards electromobility and towards the understanding how electromobility is going to work in this market, to grow this market and being at the end of the day successful for everybody. So, and why can I talk about this? Being honest, I'm already for 16 years in energy efficiency, so quite some time. So already in times when you talk about reduction of greenhouse gas, everybody was laughing. Nobody knows what was greenhouse gas at these days, what totally changes right now. So I'm being already for 16 years in this energy efficiency surrounding what electromobility at the end of the day is one topic of. And what I did in all these years is building companies, founding companies, working on projects, either on the housing sector, on electromobility, what is photovoltaics, installation, etc., or on the automotive sector of energy efficiency. And as you can clearly understand, in e-mobility, both sides of these sectors just join and come together. And this is, at the end of the day, the major complexity that has to be reduced. Oh, here we go. So, being already 16 years, already mentioned, and the most important factor to e-mobilio, to what we are doing right now, happened 2019 when Dennis Reichel sitting there, and I founded together e-mobilio. And why did we do this? Because we have learned from working for so many years in energy efficiency that there are always two bottlenecks in energy efficiency markets. Because all energy efficiency markets are highly complex by themselves, because a lot of new topics, customers are totally confused about all these new topics, about deciding their purchase decision, and so it takes a lot of time to ramp up these markets. And this has happened in the housing area or the building sector as well as in electromobility. But the difference in electromobility is that there is no time to adapt to all these changes because the market is growing that fast. So there are always two bottlenecks in here, and I will talk about these two bottlenecks for the next, not 45 minutes actually, I think 30 minutes is enough for all of us. So maybe let's keep it shorter and let's keep it made more to the point. So what are the two bottlenecks out there? The two bottlenecks are, on the one hand, information and orientation due to the complexity, all these new topics. And on the second side, the second bottleneck is, of course, fulfillment, because all products are there. If you take a walk around the IAA, you can see all products of electromobility. You see cars, you see charging solutions, you see everything. But what you don't see is, you don't see fulfillment, and you don't see information and orientation to find the right e-mobility package for your needs. So at the moment, we as e-mobilio, we are already joined, Dennis and I, we are already joined of 45 highly skilled and highly motivated people growing this company with us together. And we are pretty proud that we got our Series A founding by Monday, so we closed the 9.5 million round to tell you this. So it's, of course, something to enable us to grow even faster. So what we achieved right now is that already 350 B2B customers are using our digital e-purchase advisor. What is the main product? So giving people on a digital way orientation to find their electromobility package in less than 5 minutes. That means we already integrated on more than 400 websites. So, and what is the most important number below this is that we already did more than 130,000 purchase consultations. So what we know quite well at e-mobilio is how customers behave, how the customer journey towards electromobility, towards the purchase decision about electromobility is happening. So first of all, and this we are doing with a lot of partners out there, OEMs, already also here on the IAA, for example, like Toyota, like Stellantis. We are working with the Coburg insurance companies. We're working with more than 350 car dealer groups, and we are already in Germany and Austria and launching 2 other countries by this year. And this is the most important sentence I want to present to you, that electromobility is not about technology. Electromobility, it's all about the customer at the end of the day. Because it's easy, it's not easy, sorry, it's not easy to build products. It's complex to build products, but it's more complex to understand what product you exactly at the end of the day need. So if you take a walk around, so many brands, so many cars, so many charging solutions, but which ones are the right ones for you? Which ones are the right ones for your behavior? So first of all, I think it's important to talk about who is the customer at the end of the day, who is going to pay the party. And if we talk about customers, what customers did the last 50 years in their purchase decision, they just thought about what brand, what model, maybe I'm using a diesel because I drive a lot of kilometers a year, or what else do I decide? Or maybe you decide about, do I have a leather seat, or what kind of interior do I need or do I want for my car? This is totally changing in electromobility because customers' demand is totally diverse. So first of all, if we talk about these little family, maybe they need like a kind of SUV car, but their demand at the end of the day is they have a private parking. They need an extra long cable because the car is far away from the spot the wall box is installed. And it's a single family house. They are prepared for having a photovoltaic system maybe on the rooftop. Did we I'm from my side, I'm for more than 30 years in automotive. Did we ever talk about these customer demands? If we try to sell them cars or if we try to build cars, we never thought about how the end customer is at the end of the day living, on what are his demands due to his living situation or his driving situation. We thought about driving, but never living. So for example, another customer, not a family house, it's an apartment, so totally other demand. Maybe she needs a double socket solution because of her boyfriend who also wants to charge, but they have to separate the electricity at this time. Or for example, Peter he has a carport. Of course, he has a photovoltaic system already installed on his rooftop. And if I ask you now, are you sure that any wall box, any charging solution is being able to work together with a photovoltaic system? What would you say? It's not. So at the end of the day, you have to understand these customers' needs to find the perfect products for these customers. And of course, can you drive electric without charging your car? I think you're sure, no, you can't. So you have to think about all these topics around the car itself. Or car has a company car. What does a company car means? It's first time in history that the company he's working for is paying his electricity or is interested in his electricity tariff, because maybe he's going to charge his car at home, and if he's going to charge his car at home, they have to pay the electricity, so they are interested in this rate. So of course all this is relevant to understand customers, but these are just four. At the end of the day, there are millions of customers out there, any demand is different, so at the end of the day, it's the individual needs require, of course, individual consultation as first proof point I wanted to show you. So we have to fulfill this if you think about the customer journey of electromobility. I've talked so much about wall boxes right now, about installation, photovoltaic systems already. So of course, it's at the end of the day, and this is also the title of my presentation, it's a complete new ecosystem. And nobody is aware of this ecosystem, nobody knows the ecosystem, and nobody knows how to navigate through this ecosystem he has never heard of before. So the advice on this ecosystem is the major challenge. That's what I said before, in all energy efficiency topics, photovoltaics, etc., whatever it is, the bottleneck is always information and orientation, because people have to find their way. All these decisions are expensive, so people are thinking quite some time about it, and it has to be right and totally fit to their needs and behaviors. So what we do as e-mobilio, we tried to make this easy for all customers. So at the end of the day, when you build up the ecosystem of electromobility, of course, the car is the most important factor. And the car is, on the other side, the only emotional factor of the ecosystem of electromobility, because if we think about electricity tariffs, etc., this is also everything, or this is all not emotional. So the only emotional part is the car, but the cars, and this is something you see here working around on IAA, so many new brands. I've heard one thing, that there are more than 80 Chinese OEMs, not here already, but in China already. So a lot of new brands are entering the market. Nobody knows these brands. Everybody is confused. Brand loyalty is gone in the midfield already. So it's a huge change for deciding what is the right car, what is the right brand, what is the right model. So you have to find orientation in this topic. Second thing is, of course, you can't go to your gas station with that car. So you have to find a charging solution. And of course, it's the best way to charge at home. Charging is the big issue in electromobility. And everybody is impressed talking about people have to charge on roads and how to charge when I drive abroad, etc. But the most important factor is, whenever you are possible to do this, you have to charge at home, of course, because it's the easiest solution. And then everything I explained to you before is relevant. So do you have a photovoltaic system or not? Is this a company car or not? So there is not one wall box out there that fits to any needs. So you have to have a variety of wall boxes to fit to any customer's needs perfectly. Same, of course, if you think about company charging. Of course, if it's a company car, employees not only charge at home, they also charge at the company. Same problem has to be totally tailored to the needs of this situation. Or charging, public charging solutions, so charging when you drive abroad, it's also not just one solution out there. A lot of solutions, a lot of differences in this decision. You have to get orientation for that. Or photovoltaics. What photovoltaics was never in one sentence together with cars 5 years ago, because total different market, total different people entering the market, total different companies, total different buying behaviors, total different customer loyalty, and a lot of companies out there, electricity providers, know their customers quite well, what is all relevant to photovoltaics, of course. So in the electromobility sector, of course, photovoltaic is going to be a huge part and a really important vertical, because it's not only to the upcoming subsidy in Germany, it's also due to the fact that for most people their electric car is the highest consumer they have of electricity, so they need, or they think about what is my perfect way to reduce my electricity costs, what is of course possible by photovoltaics. This is why it's part of the ecosystem. Installation. You have to have someone to install everything. So at the end, if you have a private charging solution at home and maybe a photovoltaic system, somebody has to install this, and maybe you're not willing to talk to 10 people to get your solution for that. Maybe you're more interested to talk to one guy that fulfills everything for you. Subsidy service is complex, always changing, every country is different, and any region is different, so you have to have somebody to give you advice and give you an orientation in that. Same with GHG quota, relevant at the moment for Germany and Austria. I think you know greenhouse gas. The possibilities of that is like a turbo to the market. People driving EVs are pretty happy about receiving this money so easily. Of course, it's an important factor, but it's part of the ecosystem. And company cars, you have to bill the electricity, and you have to find an easy way to do this. Of course, billing systems, billing back-end systems are part of the ecosystem. And at the end of the day, of course, an electricity tariff, because people are charging at home, so it has to be the lowest electricity tariff they will ever understand and have for their personal life. And this is what we did in first step at e-mobilio. Took us quite time to develop this ecosystem in detail so that we have everything in place, that we have databases in place and fulfillment in place to have all this at one spot, because of course this is highly important for all customers, not talking to 10, 20 people and talking to your electrician, talking to your car manufacturer or your sales guy, etc., and find your solution by yourself. You have to pick it within 5 minutes. But this ecosystem is a lot of new topics, a lot of unknown topics, and a lot of complexity. So if you navigate through this ecosystem, you're not willing to spend more than 5 minutes, I think, because otherwise it's no help for your purchase decision, and you will step back from buying an EV and think about, okay, my next car is a diesel because it's much too complex, the complexity is much too high, etc. So navigating through the ecosystem must be easy and fun, of course, and this is why we not only developed the ecosystem, why we developed, of course, a digital front and a digital product for this ecosystem to make it easy and joyful to use the product. That is the e-purchase advisor. I was talking before and have a short demonstration afterwards so you can understand how easy it's possible to maneuver or to navigate through all these complex issues and find your perfect e-mobility package in less than 5 minutes. So what you at the end of the day, is going to happen is, by asking a few questions, the product integrates all the relevant topics you need from this ecosystem that perfectly fulfills your driving behavior, your living situation, your needs to get your perfect e-mobility package. How do we do this? What we build up is, of course, a digital assistant asking you questions, simple questions, of course, because nobody can understand technical questions, or if you could understand technical questions, you don't need us. And you don't need any consultation towards electromobility. So asking simple questions, digital assistant, determining the individual needs of any customer out there, and then there's a matching algorithm and databases to get the right packages, the right products from the ecosystem in place for this specific customer we have at the end of the day. And to make it even more easy, of course, it's a one-stop shop so that you can buy everything with just one click. Because at the end of the day, orientation and information is just the first step, but buying is the important step, because you want to have a solution at your place and not just the information what items you should buy. So this is what we do, and I have a short video explaining you a little bit more about this. So of course you find us just 100 meters away from here, but if you're now at the point, I think you all understand it needs the ecosystem, it needs navigation through the ecosystem, but it has to be seamless, of course, because the buying decision of EVs is not a digital process right now. So not so many people just buy their cars in the internet. So the car trade, of course, plays an important role in the buying decision of any end customer right now and will for a long time have or be like that. So the customer experience have to be seamless and of course connecting online and offline. How do we do this? We do this with the e-purchase advisor, where it's fully easy to get it on your website. Of course, it's a white label solution that I think you already know that customers like OEMs, car manufacturers or car insurance companies have on their own website, and gives an easy way about getting your right e-mobility product, either a single product or by the assistance of a package or with a short click as a preferred packages. And of course, it only takes you a few minutes, let's say 5 minutes, just a few questions. We just get to profile the end customer, because we have to understand what is his living situation, what are his demands, especially for wall boxes, what is his demand individual has, if it's a photovoltaic system, a company car, whatever. So at the end of the day, you get a selection of wall boxes, you get a recommendation that is 100% fit to your needs, and of course you can click and buy all this just with a few clicks, so that you are fully satisfied with a product that is 100% match to your personal living situation. And of course, it's also possible to find your right car. I explained a lot about the situation that there are so many new brands out there, so people are interested to compare brands, to compare different models. And of course, this is also possible on a digital way, that also asking some simple questions and just giving orientation to the people what kind of car, brand, model they should think about, and get any information in detail. And of course, also get in contact with somebody who is going to sell you this car. And of course, there are people out there not having that much time, and for these people, we have preferred packages. So, and all this is tailor-made, so it's possible to adapt this easily to your CI standards, to your look and feel, to your demands, of course, to your brands and models. Of course, if you're installed at a Mercedes dealer, we just have Mercedes in the product, of course. And so we adjust it always to customers' needs to make it easy. This is what I wanted to tell you a little bit about how we see the importance of the customer, how we see the customer journey for electromobility is going to be, and to change all behaviors, all knowledge that is collected over the last, I don't know, 50 years, how customers do their buying decisions. And this is a total change. There's an easy way to do it. And my next presentation would have been, but I think I said I'm going to do a 30 minutes. So this is, of course, what I said about fulfillment. This would be the next part about telling how fulfillment is important, because it also has to be seamless and easy. Nobody wants to talk to an electrician and get a quote and is not sure if this is right or wrong or whatever. So, but I would say if you're interested in this part of the purchase decision, then just jump over to our booth, ask us, and we explain you how the purchase decision or how fulfillment on our side, installation, video installation, pre-checks, installation for wall boxes or photovoltaics is done by us. Thank you very much. One last thing that is important for also Dennis and myself, being already for 16 years in energy efficiency. And with the e-purchase advisor, we reduce the complexity of electromobility, and thus we make a contribution to market growth, of course, and what is important for us also is for climate protection. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest. And I'm happy if you have some questions. Any questions? No. Then thank you very much.